Sister Priscilla 1/6 skill by Damp Liquid. This figure is indeed smoking hot, and let's all hope that you don't end up with your very own damp liquid on the figure. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. Welcome to this channel's weekly figure news fix. We'll be taking a look at anime scale figure pre-orders as well as third-party resin figure for the week 17th to 22nd July 2023. So let's jump into AmiAmi.com first for the genuine scale figures. As usual, in the top 10 on top, in first place, this isn't something I was expecting. We have Aqua from Konosuba. That is a pop-up parade L size. Yeah, I know that Konosuba is popular, but then to see Aqua in first place, I'm not sure if I was expecting that to happen. But then again, this week, there aren't many amazing scale figures other than the one in the 6th place right there, Hololive character. Yeah, that one being in top 10, not surprised at all, though that is pretty expensive. In 7th place, yeah, seems like the anime industry is trying to corrupt us religious people. If you are one, by the way, giving us really sexy nuns. There has been quite a number of nun figures in the recent weeks. Yeah, in 8th place, something from Bleach, Mega House GEM, and then in 9th place, this is the one I couldn't understand at all. Why is that even in top 10, that figure is horrible? Like, Belfine isn't even trying. We'll discuss that figure in a moment once we reach her turn. And then in 10th place, though I don't cover action figures really, yeah, check out AmiAmi this week. There seems to be a bunch of Final Fantasy Play Arts Kai action figures on pre-order. I think they are all being re-released, right? These figures have been out for a while. So if you are interested in that, go ahead and check them out. Though I've heard that Square Enix has quite an issue with quality control. At least that is what I heard from you guys who collect their products. Anyways, let's move on to 22nd of July. Only one single scale figure by MiHoYo, and this is pretty random, yeah. From Honkai Gakuen, the Family Rins Little Devil version at 1/7 scale. Yeah, just under 16,000 yen, coming out in May 2024. I think there was another figure that went on pre-order of a month, 2 months ago or so that looks very similar to this character over here. I'm not sure if they are the same character, can't recall, which I think is quite unlikely. From a game, right, or light novel, I'm assuming here. So to those of you who are not afraid of the FBI, you love your lollies, yeah, this is great. I actually love her smile a lot. I love her smile. You get 2 face plates, and then, yeah, this will be a small figure for sure. At 1/7 scale in this sitting position, sitting on your knees, these kind of figures, they are usually very small despite the scale, right? So the height is 17 centimeters, which obviously, yeah, it isn't too bad. But that pillow she is sitting on, that is at least 2 or 3 centimeters of height already there. Yeah, so this won't be a big figure. The good thing about it, small box. The bad thing about it, yeah, I wish the figure is bigger than it is. That is all for 22nd July. We go down to Friday the 21st. This is the day, as usual, Friday we see quite a number of figures in one single day. The first one here, Mega Horse Precious GEM series, Bleach Ichigo Kurosaki 1000 Year Blood War. Yeah, there is a new series ongoing from what I know, though I'm not watching it. 36,300 yen, yeah. It is Bleach, it is Ichigo, of course it is going to be expensive. The whole figure is just black color. You know, the concern I have with Mega House is that they show you guys how impressive this figure is in these product photos. And then, when the figure does come out, surprise MF, yeah, there is a huge plastic stand which you need to place to support the figure. Otherwise, yeah, the figure is going to lean over time. I refuse to believe there is no additional plastic support stands for this figure. I don't think it is possible at all. No way. Even if they used a couple of really thick metal rods, this figure requires additional support stands. You can't defy gravity. So with this figure, the height, non-scale, right? The height is 25 centimeters, but the width, the length is more like 30 centimeters. At least the size of the figure is there for this price. Up next, okay, so we have something for those of you religious people. Anyways, this is a good one. Sister Priscilla 1/6 scale by Damp Liquid. Damp Liquid. First time I'm seeing this name, and I know this is a Chinese brand because this is a provisional pre-order, and the lowly price of 22,000 yen for 1/6 scale, yeah, that is great value. This figure is indeed smoking hot, and let's all hope that you don't end up with your very own damp liquid on the figure, if you know what I mean. Yeah, of course, this is going to be cast outable. I'm going to stop scrolling right here. If I'm not mistaken, Native or one of their sub-brands, they had a really amazing Nun figure as well. Though that one was more like 38,000 yen, really pricey. This one is only a fraction of the price. Of course, it is not going to be as impressive in comparison, but I still think this is worth picking up if you loved the character design, regardless of whether you are familiar with the brand Damp Liquid or not. Yeah. Nowadays, it is very difficult to find a figure brand which makes bad products. I think the number of brands which make horrible figures and are still doing so today, I can count it with maybe the both of my hands, which means less than 10 of them. The rest are pretty okay at least. Up next, okay, this is something I would like to scrutinize quite a bit. From Belfine, we have Tornado of Terror by One Punch Man 1/7 scale at 21,300 yen coming out in March 2024. That is only 6 months away or so. Alright, so with this figure, with this specific angle, she looks fine. She looks okay the way it is. And I can see why this figure is getting quite a bunch of pre-orders, because there are not many figures of this character out there despite her popularity. The one made by Fat Company was really high value now. Yeah, she is really expensive in the aftermarket. And you see the problem here? Once you turn the figure a bit and look at her eyes over there. I have no idea what Belfine is thinking, because yeah, I know that you wanted the figure to look great from this specific angle. But despite all that, if you place her eyes properly, her eyes won't even look like that from other angles. This angle here may look fine, but if you ask me what do I think about her face over here, I can already tell her eyes are misaligned, even from this angle over here. And this is actually something that exists in real human beings, right? We call it squint eye. It is actually a medical condition. Not to say I'm trying to insult people with this medical condition, but for a figure of a character which does not have this eye problem, this shouldn't be happening. And Belfine, it really shows that Belfine is not even trying at all. When they show us product photos with the figure's eye being misaligned and just let everyone pre-order it. And curiously enough, people actually went and pre-ordered the figure despite her issues. The only reason I can think of is, yeah, they don't have much of a choice, specifically for this character over here. Despite the low price of this figure, I mean 21,000 yen is pretty low for 1/7 by today's standards. And not to mention, you are getting Ami exclusive bonus as well as a base which is not a plain round disc. I can't justify this at all. Seriously, do not give your money to figure brands who are making really bad products out there. Belfine is one of those lower tier figure brands, and yeah, with this figure, it is really clear. No matter how badly you want a figure of this character, please don't. Please don't, because you are giving a message to the figure companies where they can continue to make crap products and profit from it. Don't give them your money. There we go, this is the one without Ami exclusive bonus with a really low price of 18,500 yen. Once again, despite being so cheap, I can't recommend it at all. The next one here from the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, we have Chitose Kurosaki 1/7 scale by Wave at 26,500 yen, almost coming out in December 2023. Wow, that is really quick. Less than 6 months away. Wave is a pretty respectable brand, so I am actually curious on them being able to push out a high quality 1x7 scale figure in less than 6 months, yeah, I'm curious about it. However, they are not exactly a really big brand. They don't release many figures in a year, so maybe it is not an impossible task for them. As for this specific character, I wasn't even aware that Idolmaster Cinderella Girls has this character at all. Well, I watched only the oldest series, like the very first season of Cinderella Girls. I don't think this girl was there. Maybe she is a new addition much later. To me, it feels like I'm looking at a vampire character rather than an idol character, blonde hair, red eyes. Does feel like a vampire character to me. Or maybe that is perhaps the persona she is trying to come up with. Her identity as an idol, that's what I'm guessing over here. Not my kind of figure. I don't really collect idols much nowadays. And here we have a slightly cheaper version, just under 26,000 yen without the Ami bonus, but really just a difference of a few hundred yen. Maybe pick up the bonus version. Up next, from Union Creative, we have Trieste from Azalane. No scale over here, but she is 26 centimeters tall. So we are looking at 1x7 scale plus we are borderline 1x6 over here for short anime girls. 21,300 yen is pretty affordable, but yeah, affordable for a reason, because this is just a plain school uniform, I love JKs, so yeah, indeed, I like this kind of figures. Even though they are on the plain side of things, and then is that outfit of hers, those translucent material again, those that look like wax, I'm not a fan of those. This isn't a cast of a world figure, so I don't see any reason why Union Creative should be using a material like that. Other than maybe saving some cost on the painting, because these materials you don't have to paint their color injected. I like the face, but everything else is just pretty ordinary for this figure. And the last figure for this day, Friday, we have CCG Expo Ziling 2020 version 1x7 scale by Full Wheel for almost 30,000 yen. CCG Expo, so is this some kind of mascot character for an event? I'm guessing it is, right? So Full Wheel licensed it into a figure. The character design is really nice, very Chinese, like nowadays there seems to be a trend with this kind of Chinese themed, Chinese culture figures, and a lot of them do look great. This one is no exception. However, can you justify 30,000 yen for this? I'm not sure how to answer this question if I have to be honest with you, because I really like what I'm looking at. But at the same time, it does feel pretty expensive given that, yeah, round disc base over there. And in the end, this is just a 1x7 scale simple figure, simple pose over here. Of course, the outfit there, that long outfit, is going to add to the cost. But 30,000 yen, I'm not too sure. And then the last figure for this day, I thought that CCG Expo Girl was the last one. No, this is the last one. Konosuba Aqua Bunny version L size, 7,500 yen. Normally, I would tell you guys that, yeah, pop-up rates are not worth pre-ordering. Wait until after release and then see what the quality is like before pre-ordering. However, there is the fact that a lot of Konosuba figures, especially Aqua and Megumi, they sell out and then they become pretty expensive in the aftermarket. So should you take that fact into account into deciding whether you should pre-order this one? Well, even when you factor in that very fact that other Aqua figures became expensive, like the Kadokawa versions, which were re-released anyway, I would say no, still don't pre-order it. Because this is pop-up rate we are talking about over here, this thing is going to be mass-produced into oblivion. That's all for 21st of July. We go down to 20th of July on a Thursday, where we actually have quite a number of really nice scale figures too. The first one here, I think this is possibly one of the best scale figures this week. By Max Factory, we have Yukihana Lemmy from Hololive Production at 1x6 scale, 35,000 yen. If this is actually 1x6 scale, then I think 35,000 yen is still acceptable. No, also has this 1x6 scale rider figure, which is going for 36,000 K++ as well. So I think that is the market price for 1x6 nowadays. Okay, a couple of days ago down here in the specifications, Ami typed 1x7 scale. Now it is 1x6, so I guess that they have corrected it. And in this kneeling position, 22 centimeters, yeah, this is 1x6 scale indeed. This looks to be an incredibly detailed figure. This looks fabulous. Even though I'm not really into Hololive, I will tell you guys who are a fan of Hololive production in general, even if this may not be your favorite VTuber character, go for this one if money is no object. This is amazing. Max Factory is a very respectable figure brand. They have never let me down before. Sometimes their choice of colors can be a bit disputable. Like, you know, the Arashki Gal, the figure was amazing other than the hair color looking a bit like diarrhea rather than brighter yellow. But other than that, their quality is pretty consistent. This is amazing. This is one I can highly recommend. Up next, this is possibly the overpriced figure of the week, but then no one is surprised because this is from FGO. It seems like whenever a Japanese figure company makes a figure from FGO, from Fate's Grand Order, they are going to overprice it so that the rich whales who throw money at the game, they are the first one to pre-order it very early and then they'll take all the money. Okay, after they have sold everything to the rich FGO players, then everyone else get a bargain bin discount much later. I mean, Kotobukiya's Astolfo, the Saber one by Kotobukiya, 25,000 yen, really? So, alright, this is the end of my mini rant over here. Back to the figure. B-Style 1x4 scale ruler L-Trap and Dragon 1x4 scale by Freeing at almost 50,000 yen. Is it worth it? Okay. So not too long ago, I made a video on this channel discussing on how a lot of FGO figures, they often always bargain bin shortly after release. We're looking about 3 months after release. Yeah, they become very cheap. We're looking at 30 all the way to 50% off, which is ridiculous. So the big question over here, will this figure bargain bin after release? My guess is, unfortunately, no. Let me explain. You see, with Freeing 1x4 skills, regardless of the reputation, like there has been QC issues on certain figures out there, not every figure. And it is not like their figures are really unique in any way, they are just making giant bunny figures in the end. Their figures often do not bargain bin that much. The reason being, everyone in the figure community, those that collect figures for a long time, they already know by now that Freeing will never re-release these figures. And if they do, they will remove the stockings, the fishnet stockings, and give you a barrel version. So to those of you who want the stockings, which admittedly looks a lot better, you guys were forced to pre-order it anyway because you know you won't have a second chance again. And then back to this figure over here, this is not a typical bunny figure where you get fishnet stockings and a normal bunny suit. This is something different, which begs the question, will this even get re-released ever? Personally, I don't see it happening. And I believe a lot of Freeing bunny figure collectors do agree with me, which is why you guys may have no choice but to pre-order this figure if you want it, because I don't see this one bargain binning, despite the fact that FGO stuff often lose value after release. This one might be an exception. If you can't afford this ruler Ultra Pentagon figure at 50,000 yen, that is, yeah, kind of too much money over here. Kotobukiya has one. The one where she is wearing swimsuit or beach wear, and that one is bargain binning spectacularly. She was over 20,000 yen, 23k or so, but you can find one for 15,000, 16,000 yen nowadays. So go for that one at 1x7 scale. That is not a bad figure to have either. Yeah. Up next, alright, this figure from Princess Connect. I covered this figure last week in Nin Game actually. So I thought that this figure was a Shibuya Scramble figure online exclusive, which is why it wasn't on Ami. As it turns out, Nin Game was simply taking pre-orders earlier. So now it is on Ami as well. I'm not going to discuss this figure again. Once again, we have Eastream going back to their effect part frenzy over here, so hopefully she arrives in one piece if you are interested in her. Up next, this is also one of the better value figures of the week. From Rent a Girlfriend, we have Chizuru Mizuhara, 1x6 skill, 1x6. With a see-through lingerie version, 24,300 yen, and this is Ami exclusive version. If you're not interested in the exclusive, she is even cheaper at 22,700 yen. So you see, 1x6 skill, you're getting a mini diorama of some kind, which is very rare nowadays. I mean, if you get a diorama like this, they could even ask 30,000 yen for you and it would have been justifiable. But no, this thing is under 23,000 yen. You're getting this entire set over here. This is not the most detailed or the best looking Chizuru Mizuhara figure out there. Far from it. But when you look at the entire package, this is one of the best value offerings. This is possibly my second favorite figure of her, after the one made by Good Smile perhaps. Yeah, the one where she is turning around, the casual version by Good Smile. That one is also on quite a big discount as well. The next one here, we have possibly the most adorable figure of the week. Very affordable. Palette Uchi no Neko ga Onanoko de Kawaii Dress Up Collection. Tora Kinako Non-Scale. This one is about 15 centimeters tall. Almost pop-up rate size. Pop-up rate is 16 or 17 centimeters or so. Going for just under 8,000 yen by Golden Head. This is also a bit unusual. I think Golden Head makes expensive scale figures. This is possibly the first time I'm seeing them making a more affordable scale figure. Always a good thing, you know, nowadays figures are so expensive. Yeah, 15 centimeters tall, including the base. This isn't a big figure. Can we have that Jaguar Man from FGO? This is like Jaguar Man, right? Yeah, I want a scale figure of that, but never mind scale figure. Even a price figure of her does not exist. I'm not buying this one, but if it is Jaguar Man, I would buy one. And there is a slightly cheaper version without Ami bonus for 7,500 yen. Pick your poison. I think additional 5,500 yen isn't too bad if you want the bonus. Up next, we have SNK Bishoujo Shermie. SNK's Heroine Stack Team Frenzy 1x7 scale by Kotobukiya, just under 14,000 yen, coming out in February 2024. SNK. Actually, I used to play Street Fighter a bit. Tekken 2. SNK, I'm not that familiar. I have a friend who wants the figure even though he doesn't know much about the character just because of those legs. Seriously. At least this one is pretty affordable. I noticed that Kotobukiya, when they do these martial art figures, right? Those from Street Fighter as well, and Tekken and so on. KOF too. They are pretty affordable. So I think that maybe the license for this franchise isn't that expensive. Great addition to the collection of any SNK fans, period. The next one here, we have a re-release, kind of, from Persona 4 The Ultimate in Mayonaka Arena. We have Elizabeth, 1x8 skill by Quest skill, only 15,700 yen. This figure came out more than 10 years ago. I think it was year 2012 or 2013 or so, almost 10 years ago, for about 12,000 yen, I think. Yeah, I think it was 12,000 yen or so. It is amazing that I even remember that, right? So this one over here, if you search in myfigurecollection.net, you will see this figure being called a renewal version. So it is not exactly the same one as the one that came out 10 years ago. They actually improved the figure a bit, I think. Like for example, they modified the foot pegs, or the figure is more detailed now compared to the old one. Just my guess over here. Which is why this is a separate figure, a separate entry in myfigurecollection.net, but there are two entries of the same figure. So this is the renewal version, and at this price, if you love the Persona franchise, there is no reason not to get one. Yeah, very simple figure. And the last figure for Thursday, Statue Legend JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 2, Rudolf van Stroheim. Very German name. Just under 12,000 yen by Medicos Entertainment, coming out April 2024. I know that JoJo is very popular, but I couldn't be bothered. I don't watch the anime either, not a fan of all those macho stuff. As for the design of the character, reminds me of Gil from Street Fighter. Yes, that broom hair American. Yeah, but a cyborg. As for the position of her his cannon over there. I think that the cannon is in the wrong place, should have been in the crotch region between his legs. That would make the figure a bit more appealing, you know? Yeah. And that's all for 20th of July. We go down to 19th of July. There won't be many figures going forward. On Wednesday, we have once again quite a couple. A trio of really nice scale figures. The first one here, yeah, this is possibly one of the more boring looking Rei Ayanami figures. But it is amazing that this series is like evergreen. Until today, we are still getting new figures from Evangelion. Ami and Amakuni working together with this Rei Ayanami figure at 1/6 scale under 20,000 yen from Evangelion, coming out in September 2024. Oh wow. 14 months away. You know, one of you guys who commented in my video, you raised a really interesting point on how some anime figure brands nowadays are a bit like Ponzi schemes, where they can't even finish their existing projects. They keep delaying things and extending the waiting time, and they proceed to announce more and more new stuff. Yeah, you have a point over there. Okay, so to me, this figure of Rei is just another option. Amakuni is a top tier figure brand out there, so quality is almost guaranteed over here. However, among the Rei Ayanami figures that have been released in the recent year or so, I think I like the one by Alter quite a bit more. The one where she has a jacket over here, I think that is a fairly new figure that came out just months ago. Yeah, I like that one a lot more. Up next, this is one of the better figures this week as well by Mietos. We have Amiya Dreamland version from Arknights, just under 22,000 yen. This is great value, seriously. So the figure over here attracts me so much just because I am a sucker for details. We're getting a really compact base that does not take up much space, yet it is not a plain round disc base. And then what attracts me the most is her outfit. There are plenty of close-up pictures over here. Look at the ornament, the thing that where she is holding over there. Look at the crown she is wearing. So much fine details over there. The outfit, decal placement, and so on. The back of the figure. Look at that. Seriously, man, I mean, I can't afford to go for every single franchise. Azalane, Arknights, Blue Archive, FGO. Can't afford to collect every single thing. But Arknights have some of the best figure options in the figure market today. Arknight collectors are really lucky. There really is no reason not to get one at 22,000 yen for any Arknight fans. Really, go and pre-order this one right here. The same can be said for the next one. They are like a pair, a set. So you'll need this one as well. Aja, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name anyways. Dreamland version as well, under 22,000 yen, same price, and also April 2024 release, same month as well. So you need to spare like 50,000 yen because both figures are coming out in the same month. This one reminds me of there was one rabbit figure by Mietos as well. The color scheme is very similar. Came out many years ago. Similar vibes over here. This is a very frilly figure. I like Amiya a lot more compared to this one. But by no means is this figure any bad. I still think you need both if you were to buy either one. This looks like something girls buy, right? Not guys. But of course, the guys are the one queuing up to buy this figure instead of girls, I think. Very pink, very dolly, very frilly. Up next, we have another bunny figure. This is one that I don't see why I would purchase it, other than the fact that once again, you know the illustrator and you want a figure of that illustrator's characters, right? So this is 1/7 scale Maina Hayakawa, illustrated by Ohya. This one is with bonus 21,000 yen by Lovely. Lovely is also a Chinese brand, if I'm not mistaken, though there is no provisional pre-order. Lovely should be a Chinese brand. So yeah, in the end, this is just a bunny figure. What Freeing does, what several other brands does, but at 1/7 scale. Of course, this is going to be cast offable. I don't understand why Ami decided to crop off the figure like this, because when not casted off, the figure is perfectly safe for work. So sometimes I have no idea what they are thinking over there. And the last figure for this day, the Witcher Bishoujo, the Witcher Geralt, 1x7 skill by Kotobukiya, 18,500 yen, coming out in February 2024. So yeah, I don't have much comments for this one. I think this figure was already on pre-order, right? Yes, I covered this figure already, but I forgot about him. Maybe Ami is not getting enough orders, so they are pushing the figure up to the front page so that it gets more traction. But then my opinion remains the same. The armor on this, the texture over there on the armor is amazing. Is that chainmail armor? I don't think so, but this amount of detail for under 20,000 yen, yeah, if you love The Witcher, go for it. And the last figure for this week, in Ami at least, right? So this figure, yeah, this figure is from 18th July. This figure of Grey Full Buster, I think I covered this already as well. So once again, probably he isn't selling well, so Ami push it up the front page. Once again, this was on pre-order weeks ago. That is all for the figures this week, at least on Ami. But now we move into niningame.com as usual. We go for the latest added section, just added section over here, and click on see just added all items over here. So there are two figures here I would like to cover because it is not on Ami. As usual, those 1x6 and 1x4 skill Nikan Shoujo figures by Insight, they are very X-rated, so I'm not putting them on screen. If you're interested, go and check it out yourself. The two figures I would like to cover, the first one over here from Portrait of Pirates Playback Memories One Piece Nefertari VV or Netorare VV. Limited plus reissue by Mega House. This is a Bandai premium. So this is one of Bandai's schemes to grab money from you guys by making things very limited. Yeah, Bandai premium is quite notorious in the Gunpla market. I have no idea why this is like very premium stuff to Mega House, because this figure looks pretty ordinary to me. It looks like any other 1x7 skill One Piece figures, you know, from Mega House. So why is this even Bandai Premium? I have no idea. This figure is soon available. You can start hitting the pre-order button on 21st of July. Up next, Creators Collection Original Character Asleep 1x6 skill. The character does not even have a name, just Asleep. Okay, this is by Magic Bullets and Native. Native store exclusive, almost 35,000 yen. So let's have a look. Yeah, this is very Native, right? This looks like what Native makes for anime figures. So not really my kind of figure. I would love to have one, of course, but then if you tell me to fork out maybe 40,000 yen including shipping for something like this, yeah, this would be at the back of the queue of the list of figures that I would want badly. So not really my kind of figure right here. That is all for anime figures, skill figures on pre-order this week. Now, as usual, we move into the website of this channel's affiliate partner, OzGK, to check out third-party resin figures on pre-order this week. As usual, every single resin figure I'm about to cover, there is an affiliate link below if you would love to pre-order one for yourself. Now we are in OzGK.com, so let's proceed all the way down to the newest pre-orders section. As usual, I will only cover female characters, and they may offer pre-orders for some genuine skill figures, but I'm skipping past them because, yeah, I'm focusing on resin figures only for this segment over here. The first one here from Imagination Studio, we have a 1x6 skill Himeko from Honkai Star Rail. This is a very early bird pre-order. We only have a few teaser pictures and no official price yet. And then two versions as well as a Supreme version, which I assume includes the parts for both versions, right? So let's check out the teaser pics over here. This is the first one and the second one. There you go. She is sitting on a couch. And then we have, this is what it looks like for her face, right? So her face looks great over here. But in the end, we want to see more of the figure before we can decide whether to hit that pre-order button in case you are interested in the character. Honkai Star Rail is, yeah, the popularity, there's no mistake. A lot of people want figures from this franchise, from this game, and Good Smile are starting to announce Nandoroids from this series as well. Up next, this is also a very early bird pre-order with no official price yet. Dragon Studio and Pop Studio, One Piece 007 Yamato. So we only have a couple of pics over here. At least we get to see her face. With One Piece stuff, there is no doubt that they will get the face right? Resin figure brands in general, they are so experienced with One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, all this mainstream stuff that they hardly get the face done wrong. No official price yet. It is stated here $400 subject to change though. So this could be a 1x4 scale instead of 1x6 at this price. Up next, from Jaxdo Studio, we have Dragon Ball Ranchi Motorcycle. Version A is $79 only, and then there's a version B for the same price. So I think there are two different color schemes, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, this is an action figure. Interesting. Like, how do you how do you make joints with resin? Because they are so fragile, right? Doesn't look very good, don't you think? I mean, the face is so... yeah. The face is so out of whack. Does her face look like this in the anime? Let me know if you watch it. I did not watch Dragon Ball at all. Oh, two different characters, and I don't know which is A, which is B. Come on. This is an action figure, and there you go. This is the dimensions. The motorcycles does light up. Very nice. Up next, oh, we have Shenhe from Genshin Impact by SC Studio. Full price is $245. Yeah, go and check out the pics yourself. I'm really lazy to scroll through one by one and censoring every single one of them. I guess I can click on this one. Up next, another very early bird pre-order with just teaser pics only. Azalane USS St. Louis by Rainbow Studio. No price yet. This is no scale mentioned as well. This is the only picture we are getting, so no. We'll just wait for more pictures. Doesn't look like a very detailed figure. Yeah, even from the teaser pictures over here, this does not appear to be a very impressive one. Up next, another very early bird pre-order. XP Studio, we have Mercy from Overwatch. No price yet, and these are teaser pics, of course. No skill mentioned as well. Okay, this is definitely very X-rated. We're going to stop here and wait for more pictures. Up next, from Unique Art Studio, we have Kula Diamond from the King of Fighters. This is a licensed resin figure, so this is going to be really expensive. Yeah, $800. $800, man. Very realistic looking character. Like, are KOF characters that realistic looking? I'm not really sure. So this is more like you're paying $350 for the for the figure and $450 for the base, I think. Wow, the outfit looks like real leather over here. This is amazing. Well, it better be at $800. Yeah, I think I like the base more than the actual figure itself with this one. And there are LEDs. I can understand why this is $800, but that doesn't mean I have pockets deep enough to buy something like this. Up next, from R18 Studio, we have Reze from Chainsaw Man. This is a 1x4 scale and going for $405, which isn't a bad price for a 1x4, really. This is one of the better looking figures of Reze, and yeah, make no mistake, I love those hips, those thighs. Of course, this is going to be cast-offable. The curves on this figure is just sweet, fabulous. Okay, oh, you're getting this second option, this torso over here. The whole thing is 50.5 centimeters. You see, this is pretty tall. You're getting a second torso, which is cast-offable. Yeah, you can display her nude if you're into that. And two separate heads, all that for $405. This is actually good value, seriously. Up next, from Yuanming Studio, we have Nelil to Odell Senwek. What kind of name is that? She is from Death Boundary Bleach. And this one is also a very early bird pre-order with no price yet. This one is at 1/6 scale. So this is like wet outfit look. And okay, I noticed that resin figure brands, they really love water effect parts just as much as Eastream and Shibuya Scramble figure. Well, I can't really say much until we know the price of this figure. Up next, we have a really low cost figure of Anya. She is only 1/8 scale by Si Yuan, Guangxiang Studio. Wrestling Honey. Wrestling Honey. What's that supposed to mean, by the way? So this one is going for $69 at 1/8 scale. This isn't a big figure. Do we have the dimensions over here? According to the specs over here, yeah, this figure is only 12.5 centimeters, very small for $69. You decide whether it is worth it or not. Up next, we have Imagination Studio. We have two really good figures of Yae Miko this week, right? I know that by now, probably you guys are tired and sick of seeing so many Yae Miko figures out there, but we have two really good ones this week, I promise. This is the first one over here. There's no price yet, so this is not going to be cheap for sure. 1/6 scale, and there are two versions plus an extreme version. We are getting parts for both versions over here. Yeah, the face on this one looks amazing. Probably one of the best looking third-party resin figures of Yae Miko out there. I'm not including those with realistic faces, right? Oh, this must be the casual outfit version, which I'm not really that fond of. This is just like a really short t-shirt, right? And nude version, and yeah, there you go. This is the one I prefer, of course. I always prefer the original battle suit, as they call it. If this is $300 to $400 between this price range, I think it is okay. And any more than that, it has to be the price for the extreme version where you get parts for both versions. This is an excellent package. Like, you're getting a unique base, you're getting a great looking figure of Yae Miko. This is potentially a really good buy. All we need to know now is the price, the full price. Up next, from Fallen Angel Studio, we have Shihoin Yoruichi from Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. So there is the full price for the extreme version is $809 battle version. The one you're looking at, this one, this is the battle version. Battle version $537 has to be 1/4, right? And there is a swimsuit version for $463. If you were to ask for my opinion, I would be content with the battle version alone. I don't see a point collecting so many figures and all of them are just wearing bikini, right? There's no point to it. So this is a 1/4. Let's have a look at the pictures over here. This actually looks amazing. But rather than thunder or lightning or whatever effect that is, it almost looks like she is covered in honey instead, or some other liquid. Yeah. However, the effect we're getting over here, it looks great. I love it a lot. This is fantastic. We don't have any pictures of the bikini version or the swimsuit version. This is definitely the battle version, and I think that is all you need if you proceed to pre-order this figure. Up next, another figure of Yamato, right? So many of them every week. This one is by Diamond Studio, no price yet, and once again, this is a very early bird pre-order. Just another bikini figure, right? But I love how the hair looks. The transition from the light purple lavender color to that deep blue color over there, that looks great. Of course, customable. Otherwise, there is no reason to buy one, right? Up next, we have another very early bird figure over here. No price yet, of course. We have another Yorha number 2 from Nier Automata. This is by BP Studio. Only a teaser pic. If the face looks like that, then she might be worth picking up, right? We need more pictures before I can comment any further. Up next, this is very similar to Alter's version of Taiho, right? This is by Art of Eden Studio, Azalane Taiho. So the full price for the normal version is $519. The deluxe version is $644. The deluxe version, you're actually getting some additional accessories from the look of it. This is also a very early bird pre-order because there are not many pictures yet. Also has a figure of this character with the anime default face. This is more like a realistic version. And yeah, these three pictures are all we have at the moment. Personally, I will still go for the outer version because I always prefer the anime look over the realistic look. This is a 1x4 though, so they are not exactly or directly comparable with the outer version. Some people will want to have both. Up next, from Will Song Studio, we have Psychos from One Punch Man. So the standard version is $490 the high-end version 578. So the standard version, she is actually nude. That is all you get, together with the couch she is on, of course. And the high-end version, where you add $80, you get some clothes. So of course you will want one with clothes. You will want the high-end version because, well, you can always display the figure with clothes on, and any unsuspecting person will think that it is just a normal figure without knowing that it is an X-rated one. Only those who collect, they will know it, right? As for Psychos, right? Psychos, I don't think we ever saw her in the anime, right? Did she even appear in the anime adaptations, or this was only the manga? So Saitama over there is enjoying the view. Yeah, great view over there. Yeah, I can see why One Punch Man fans would want a figure of this. There are no official genuine figures of this character right here. Up next, okay, this is a dude, not a female character. I'm making it an exception because it is Kime Yaiba, and this is possibly the very first figure of Doma, the second ranked demon in Demon Slayer. The full price for this one is $246 at 1x6 scale, and when you look at the entire package over here, I would say this is great value. Not something I would buy, but that base over there, yeah, this is great. Personally, I do have a problem with the face, so if I were looking for a figure of Doma, this wouldn't be it. After watching what he looks like in the anime, I do think his face can be better than this, right? Yeah, and as usual, the paint job over here, it is pretty flat. There isn't much shading. I think there were more gradient color to his hair in the anime, if I recalled correctly. Up next, we have another figure of Kamisato Ayaka. This is one of the better looking ones as well, by SHE Studio. This one is going for $194, which is pretty great for a 1x6 scale. So yeah, the face on this one is pretty good. And there has been several figures of Kamisato Ayaka from third-party brands in the recent weeks. This is definitely one of the better looking ones. I'm curious if there is any additional support on this figure. Yeah, the center of gravity is off to one side. This is a contender for the best looking third-party resin figure of her, I think. I love that face. Up next, okay, this is not something we'll see often, and once again, this is a very early bird pre-order. We have Saber from Violet Evergarden by Lazy Dog Studio. Two versions over here. As you can see, we get two different backdrops. Personally, I prefer the B version a bit more. Yeah, and these are the only pictures we are getting. No official price yet. This figure reminds me of that Miku World is Mine figure, I think from many years ago, where you get a frame and it is meant to be displayed as a frame or even be hung on the wall. This is more like a frame, a 3D frame, photo frame of some kind, which is interesting. You don't see this often in the figure market. The next one over here, in my opinion, this is the best third-party resin figure this week. But it is quite a shame that Persona 5, the popularity of this game franchise is very regional. It is popular in Japan. It is popular among Americans from what I've heard, but over here in Asia, you don't hear people talk about it often. I don't see many collectors of Persona characters in my region over here among my friends as well. So this is something regional, and we are looking at a 1x4 scale figure of Ant Takamaki from Mixed Beauty Studio. This one is going for $379 for the normal version. For the deluxe version, $644. That is a huge price increase. I'm assuming we're getting two figures. One is a nude body, right? We are getting almost two entire figures. Let me have a look over here. Okay, so the standard version, you're getting a simplified version of the platform. Leather suit for characters, replaceable single head carved hair mask, weapon and whips. And then the deluxe version, you are getting a deluxe version of the platform, so the base is different. Yes, you're getting additional parts for the body and so on, including the nude ones. So at $644, 1x4 scale, once you see the picture, you understand why. This is actually worth it. This is something too rich for my blood, definitely. But when I look at the figure, the sculpting on the body, look at that ass, man. This is the best angle of this figure. Seriously, this is the best angle. Nice rear ends over there. And yeah, this is the optional nude version where you get in the deluxe variant. 1x4 scale, this thing is at least 50 centimeters, maybe taller than that. Seriously, even when I'm not a big fan of Persona 5, I would love to have this figure because looking at her ass every day would improve my mental health. For that reason alone. Yeah. Up next, we have another figure of Kamisato Ayaka, one that I'm not a fan of at all, by DT Studio and Ume Studio. This studio, they are making realistic interpretations of game characters, anime characters, and giving them giant boobs for some reason. So I'm really not a fan of what they do. The battle suit version, which is the one you're looking at, this is $674, 1x4 of course. And then there is a bikini version for only $441. This is the bikini version. As usual, there are not many pictures over here, but personally, I can't recommend this. I prefer the one earlier for $200, right? But that is just me. This is a 1x4, that is a 1x6. They are not directly comparable. Up next, this is, if that figure, Persona 5 figure earlier and Takamaki is the best 1x4 skill of the week, this figure of Asuna Ichinose over here is the best resin figure of the week for 1x6 skill. It is quite a difficult choice between this one and Yae Miko figures earlier, but I'm a bit biased in the sense that I like Blue Archive more than Genshin. So I'm going to let this one take the win for the best looking 1x6 skill of the week. Well, best looking face at least. I think if you look at the entire figure, the Yae Miko figure is a lot more impressive, right? You look at the base and everything. Yeah, definitely Yae Miko takes the win for the best overall package, but best face, my bias is making me choose this figure of Asuna Ichinose. Okay, so back to the figure, we have a standing version, this one over here for $229. Sitting version $245, and there is a sitting high-end version $264. This one is the standing version of Asuna Ichinose, and we all know what my opinions are with Dodomo Studio, where my opinions are not very favorable, but at the same time, I have only reviewed one single figure from them, so it is not entirely fair to judge them based on one single figure. At least with this character specifically, right? She technically has only one eye because the other side is covered by her hair, so there is no need to worry about Dodomo Studio screwing up her eyes, having them misaligned. There's only one eye over here, if that is any consolation. And they really got her smile done really right over here. I love her smile. This is almost indistinguishable from genuine skill figures by more proper Japanese brands. This is just as good looking, right? Of course, castable, there's no reason why she isn't. This is a solid addition to the collection of any Blue Archive fans. I mean, for under $260, this is a really solid purchase, seriously. And then let's look for the sitting version, which is just as good. If you were to ask me which one to choose, I'll tell you I want both, really. So let's look for the sitting version. Yeah, this is the sitting version. If this is how normal people sit, that is. Of course, you're getting that very important part exposed down there. And the smile, the face on this one is just as good. I'm guessing over here, right? Dodomo Studio is using the same exact faceplate. Yeah, they're using the same exact faceplate, but the torso and the rest is different. That is actually genius when it comes to manufacturing a figure. Yeah, this is just as good. Seriously, I would love to pre-order one. But if you were to ask me to pre-order both, man, that is tough. That is like almost over $500, not including shipping yet. The next one over here is for those of you who are not afraid of the FBI. We have, lolly number 2, Bailu from Honkai Star Rail by Year Toys Studio at 1/6 scale. Version A is $142 only. Version B, $125, and then there's a deluxe version for $267, where I assume we're getting parts for both version A and version B. Let's have a look. Yeah, apparently you're getting different accessories depending on the version. The list is down here. I'm just too lazy to read all of them. So let's have a look at the pictures over here. To me, the mouth region looks a bit weird with this one over here. Oh, and from the rear, when I look at her from behind, it almost feels like I'm looking at Roxy from Mushoku Tensei. Yeah. This is going to be a rather small figure despite the scale at 1/6 because, no, lolly. From this angle, her face looks a lot better. So it is just a matter of angle, really. And of course, this is going to be customable. That's what I said. For those of you who don't care about the FBI, pick up this one. This is pretty affordable, really. Up next, this is the one thing I really can't understand. Okay, sure. Every single blonde anime girl character is Marin Kitagawa now, right? By SSS Hot Studio, this one is going for $136, must be a 1/7 scale, alright. This is not Marin Kitagawa at all. The face does not look like her. The bust size and the body proportions are wrong as well. This is just another original character anime girl where they decided to call her Marin Kitagawa. So really can't recommend it. We move on to the next one here. Yeah, this is the other Yae Miko figure I was talking earlier, which is almost just as good as the one made by Imagination Studio. It is a really difficult choice if you were to ask me which one is better. By Epson Studio, I heard that this studio has quite a good reputation, even though I haven't reviewed their products before. And this one is going for $321 for the classic version, and then there is fitting version, this one over here, the nude one, for $264, where this is only for those very horny people. Seriously, buy the classic version, right? This is the proper Yae Miko. Okay, so between this one and the one earlier by Imagination Studio, which one is better? I'm not too sure. Some people are saying the one earlier by Imagination Studio has a slightly better face, but this one to me is almost just as good. Yeah. I told you guys, this week we had 2 excellent Yae Miko figures. This one for $321 at 1/6 is not bad either. What do you think? Do you prefer the one earlier or do you prefer this one? The next one here, this is an original character. Original characters, they are usually quite cheap, right? So we have Original Desktop Girl Series Good Night, whatever that means. From Tooth Fairy Studio, white version over here $321, black version same price $321, and there is a Christmas version, oh my god, for $340. So this is what she looks like when she used the filters in the smartphone, like May 2. And then this is what she looks like when she doesn't use Photoshop. Is that it? Are they even the same character? Yeah, it almost looks like this is the actual person, and the other one, this is what we see in social media websites with 1 million followers, you know. The skin is really realistic looking. I'll give them that. The skin looks really realistic, but then it isn't worth it. $320 for this at 1/7 scale. This isn't worth it. Up next, another Genshin figure. This one is Yoimiya by DK Studio, going for $155 only. 1/6 scale, right? Yeah, 1/6. I almost thought I was looking at Ryza from Atelier Ryza. Okay, and one of you guys mentioned in my Facebook post that she looks kind of dead inside with the face expression over here. But I believe that it is more to the lighting. You know, there are some shadows on her eyes, so it almost looks like she is kind of dead inside. But the eyes are definitely quite lively over here. Yoimiya is also one of those resin characters where I don't see genuine figure brands taking up the character, maybe because she is not as popular. But $155 for this 1/6 scale, I don't think this is a bad purchase at all. Up next, we have Lingyun Studio Original Queen of Beauty captured by Goblin. Hehe. I love this kind of figures. $519. So this is 1/4, right? No scale mentioned here, but this is like 60 centimeters. 1/4 scale for sure. I think Daiki Kogyo has these goblin figures, action figures, for very cheap. So you can always buy those and use them to terrorize your existing scale figures, you know. To me, this figure does not look impressive at all. You see, the sculpting on the hair is very rough, not very refined. And obviously, there is no shading on the paintwork. So I'm not sure if this is even worth $500. Yeah, the only thing going for it with this figure is the size itself. So I'm not sure if I can even recommend this. Perhaps skip this one. And then the last resin figure for this day, this is a very early bird pre-order with some teaser pictures. We don't even know what the figure looks like yet. Babyface Studio One Piece Bath Time Nami. There is no official pricing yet, and we are not getting more pictures than this one over here. I'm not sure what to comment. Other that, is that real water? Because if you were to show us a product picture and you put real water over there, I think it is kind of misleading. But if that is transparent resin made to look like real water, this is actually pretty impressive. But I'm not convinced that this isn't real water. They're just pouring real water onto the figure. Yeah. And that concludes the figure news fix for this week between 16th to 22nd of July. Which figure will you be pre-ordering this week? Let me know down in the comments below. Yeah, that pair of Yaemiko and that Dodomo Studio Asuna figure, these three are my absolute favorites this week, together with the 1/4 scale and Takamaki, which I couldn't afford. Yeah. As for the genuine figures, I would say my favorites are probably that pair of Mietos figures from Arknights. Yep. So which figure are you pre-ordering this week? Let me know down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please do support this channel, give this video a like, and consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this in the future. Until then, see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.